another one of my favorite recipes is the cottage pie recipe. I adore this. I don't just eat it over Christmas, but I eat it over the whole of winter because it's just so good for you, and I'll explain why in terms of the ingredients. But there's just something so nice and comforting and warm and homey about eating cottage pie, and who doesn't love a bit of that for dinner or even for supper, to be honest. Sometimes I've even had it in the morning actually with the leftovers, but nothing wrong with that, I say. So what's going into this? Well, the first thing that's going in are onions and garlic. Now, in my opinion, the onion is the most underrated vegetable out there. I mean, if you think about it, it really forms the basis of any sort of cooking. But the other reason why onions are just so fab for you is that they have so many beneficial ingredients. So they're used as an antibacterial, an antiseptic, they're good for your skin, but most importantly, they've got so many beneficial properties when you eat them. Why am I obsessed with them? Well, if you're looking to have a baby, the sulfur-based derivatives within the onion are really good in terms of allowing your liver to better process any nasties within the body, so any waste products, in particular any surplus hormones that we might have circulating around. So it's really good for keeping your liver on point, if you like. And the other reason is that onions and garlic contain glutathione, which is really important in terms of helping to build sperm for all of you men out there, and is also really good in terms of protecting the eggs and the ovaries. So a couple of really good convincing reasons as to why onions are just great and we should all be eating them. And then next we've got celery and carrot. So celery is a great ingredient because it contains aldosterone, and aldosterone is responsible for making testosterone. So another really great one for the men to munch on and to start benefiting their sperm from. I'm sure you're all going to be keen on that over Christmas. And in terms of the carrots, so they contain vitamin A or beta carotene. And generally speaking, orange-based fruits and vegetables are good for you, hold a whole host of different ingredients, antioxidants or other benefits that are great, in particular if you're looking to conceive. Now, I know that some ladies out there, because there's quite a bit of misinformation on the subject, are a little bit wary when it comes to vitamin A, and most of us live under the presumption that we should avoid taking it altogether if we're looking to have a baby or are pregnant. But this is actually entirely wrong. It's the synthetic vitamin A or vitamin A when consumed too much, which can become harmful. But getting it from plants like carrots is absolutely fine, and in fact completely beneficial. You should be having some vitamin A in your diet. It's important in terms of helping to protect your own health, generally speaking, but also in terms of the baby's health too. So a really great mixture of ingredients there. And then we've got the lentils, the red lentils that I'm using in this one. Now, this is a really important ingredient because it actually replaces the meat or lamb or beef that would go as standard into this dish. And I know some of you might not be quite convinced until you try this about the prospect of leaving meat out. But just think about the fact that a lot of the meat that we now consume is treated with hormones, which all filter into our blood system. So if you buy organic meat, then that's far better for you, and is something we should be doing if we're eating meat. But for those of you who are keen to try a plant-based diet, which I encourage you all to do over Christmas, the lentils contain some really good protein, and they also contain folate, and folate is a really important ingredient, in particular for the baby. It helps to protect against neural tube defects. So a couple of reasons as to why the red lentils are just really great for you, but also super delicious. And you'll see it when you taste this, you probably won't notice the difference so much between meat and this when it's all made in its lovely juiciness and sauce. Then we've got tomatoes, which are full of antioxidants. Now, these are in a tin, but I've tried to source organic ones. Again, try and buy organic where you can. It's important because then it means that the fruit and the vegetables haven't had the pesticides and sometimes other additives in order to preserve them. So just really important to try and stay away from that and be mindful of what you're putting into your body. And then we've got some lovely bay leaves and thyme, which are going to add just a really delicious aroma to all of this. Vegetable stock, again, try and go organic where you can. So you can either buy it pre-made or you can make your own vegetable stock. and then we've got salt and pepper. So I'm going to show you how to make it next. So you want to add a dollop of your preferred oil into there. So just sprinkle it around. Like add all of the onions and the lovely garlic. So you want 1 large onion and then 2 cloves of garlic, all chopped up. So just saute that. I can't just say saute. Saute that in the saucepan and swirl it around so that they start to go really nice and soft. So you want to give that a little bit of time. So you want 2 large organic carrots where you can, and 1 organic celery stick, all of which has been chopped up. As you can see, mine's still quite coarse, but it doesn't matter. I mean, when I eat cottage pie, I quite like the vegetables to be a little bit coarse, so it gives a little bit more texture, I think. Okay, so normally, as you know, with a cottage pie, we tend to put mashed potatoes on top, but the choice that I've made instead of the classic white potato is the sweet potato, which is far better for you. That's got your good carbs that we should be eating, and also some lovely butternut squash. Again, it's seasonal, it's lovely and delicious, it's nice and orange. You can see I've gone for the orange theme here as well today, and you know, it's got all of your beta carotene, vitamin A goodness that we spoke about being in the carrots as well. So that's on the boil, and we're going to make a lovely mash out of that when this is finished as well. So next we're going to add 130 grams of red lentils, like so, and just give that a really good stir around. And then we're going to pour in a whole can of 400 grams of tinned organic tomatoes and keep stirring that around. So then we're going to add our vegetable stock, and you need 300 mils of that. So just pour it all in. I love adding this bit. And then we're going to add our 2 bay leaves and about a tablespoonful of chopped thyme. I've probably got a little bit more in there, but it's because I just absolutely love thyme. So give that a really good stir. Make sure it's simmering away. Add some pepper. And then some salt. I like to use the Himalayan salt. So once again, just give it a really good stir. It wants to simmer away until the carrots are, that's the hardest vegetable in there, are nice and soft. And then that mixture is going to be ready to pour into your lovely oven-proof dish. My arm is going. I'm mashing this up. Okay, so as you can see, practically all of the liquid has simmered away now, and what you're left with are lovely soft vegetables that smell gorgeous with all of that thyme and bay leaf that you've added. And then I'm literally just going to spoon the mixture into an oven-proof dish like so, and then you're going to add all of the mash that you've pre-prepared by just adding in some butter and some milk. You can make it any way that you like to. We're just literally going to spread it all out like so. Just needs to coat the rim. The majority of this recipe is the lovely heartiness of the vegetables underneath, and this is just a little bit of an extra on top. And then as a final bit of extra, you don't have to do this, but I am a little bit partial to a bit of cheese. So you can really use any cheese that you want. I like cheddar cheese. So literally just sprinkle it all on top like so. That's going to give it a nice extra bit of gooiness and flavour. So once the cottage pie is all set, you want to put it in a preheated oven at 200 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. So here is the finished cottage pie. So scoop it onto a plate, all of the lovely juiciness that might have fallen out. And then you can make yourself a nice side of some kale, or otherwise you can do any sort of roast veg, and it will taste delicious no matter what you put with it. So there you go, really simple and easy cottage pie to make at home.